Peace and blessings, peace and blessings. It's your girl Rhonda, the light coming on here to encourage you. Let me say this to you. Let me say this to you. Hopefully, this will help you to understand not only other people, but if you don't even understand yourself, you can never ever wrap your mind around trying to understand other people. Okay, let me say this to you. I used to say this too in the past, like, man, why do people lie so much? Why do they lie instead of just being honest to others? Why don't instead of just telling you what they think, what they feel, why don't they just what's wrong with telling the truth? You have to know and understand those type of people. they the habitual liars, they have literally convinced themselves that they're telling the truth, and it have absolutely nothing to do with you. It's you got to stop taking things so personal, because you're not the only person, or that you're not the only person that they have lied to. They have lied to themselves over and over again when they have said to themselves, I'm okay, when they're not. They have lied to themselves when you know maybe on their taxes, or maybe maybe to get what they want, or just whatever. They just so used to that, to where it have become a part of them. Even when you say, how are you? Oh, I'm okay, I'm good. Because they telling themselves that I'm good. um, it was a time to where I lied to myself when I knew I wasn't good, when I knew that I was tore from the floor up, when I knew I was, you know, I was growing through some stuff, and I just wasn't willing to share that with everybody. So I was lying to myself some more time. But you got different type of liars. You got people that they just lie for a living. I've mentioned this to you all before. They lie when they go to bed. They lie when they wake up. They lie. They tell lies even in their dreams. They just lie. And so those are habitual liars, and you can't get mad at them. You need to get mad at yourself to say, okay, if I know you're a big liar, why am I even listening to you? You don't have no credibility. So this is who you are, and at some point you got to ask yourself why. If you know this, then something is wrong with you. Okay, at some point you need to wake up. Okay, so I said all that to say this: let people be who they are. Okay, and you continue to be the person that you are. Either you pray for them and move on, or you pray for them and stick around. Okay, but just constantly saying, oh, they're a big liar, oh, they're a big liar. At some point, you lying to yourself too, because you're trying to convince yourself that just maybe this time they're telling the truth. I'll be back. This is your girl, Rhonda the Light, shining some light. You know, I always give my testimony. I know me. It was a time where I lied to myself so much so to where, I was in this relationship, and I knew that this person, they would lie at any given point. I don't care what the little small things and the big things. They knew I better lie about the small things, and if I'm smart, I'm sure gonna lie about the big things, because I know who I'm dealing with. Okay, so at some point, you gotta say, you know what, enough is enough. Okay, stop lying to yourself and putting up with it. Stop lying to yourself and irritate yourself. It used to be a point in life where back then I would sit and say, okay, I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt, because people change. God changed me, he can change anybody. That's where I was, like, literally. And still, to a certain degree at that point, but my patience ain't as thick as it used to be when it comes to foolery, okay? But I'd say, maybe, just maybe, if they see that, I'm loving them no matter what. I done caught them about 20 times lying. Just maybe if I just show some love and still be there, and da. Maybe it got worse, okay? So sometimes you think it because you loving a person. It could be your family. It don't necessarily have to be a mate. Because everybody, don't get it twisted. Everything don't have to do with just a male or female. Some things it could be family members that they've been telling you, standing you up all this time, saying, "Hey, I see you soon. I'm da 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 da." And then you never see them, or they telling you one thing and doing another. These same people, or you find out that the same family members that keep up confusion nonstop. They don't have a life. They don't want you to have a life, and they lie all the time. And the people that's around them lie, so they believe they lies. And then you hoping that one day, I was there too. You hoping one day, just maybe, today is a good day for me to communicate. And you find out, no, it's not. I think they done got a little worse. So at some point, you have to be that person. Say, you know what? It's not even about you at this point. It's about me getting peace and joy in my spirit and keeping it. And be around like-minded people that are going somewhere, that been where I'm trying to go, or they are already there. So find yourself being around people that you are more or less compatible with in that area, to where you can stop nerving yourself up over people that some people are not going to change. You have to face it. I know too, with myself, I was big on, if I change, anybody could change, because I know how I used to be. Rhonda wasn't always the person that she is now. So I looked at that for years, and I to a certain degree I still do, because people can change, but they gotta want to change. You got some people, I don't care how much you want it, they will not change. And you will waste your whole life, you waste your whole time trying to, you know, say, as long as I do this, they'll do that, and as long as I do this, no. Let me tell you, strengthen what is remaining in your life, and strengthen your mind, strengthen your heart, strengthen everything that has to do with you. Get yourself on track and build yourself up, build your mind up. Do the things that you've always wanted to do. Enjoy your life. Life is, I ain't gonna say it's short. Life is life, and like the young folks say. So what you want to do, you want to find yourself choosing happiness and doing the things that brings you confidence, bringing you life, longevity. You want to. I used to say this. Back in the days, you would hear people living like my grandparents. They lived to be like 104, 103, and my mom was 88, of course. My dad, he died at an early age. He was in his late 50s. But back then, like my grandparents, they was in the hundreds when they died. So it's a such thing as longevity. It depends on where your mindset and where you are and how you're taking care of yourself. And when you're around someone and they constantly aggravating your spirit, and they bring in, the young people say, the wrong energy around you, at some point you got to bounce, okay? You got to stop, get to the point where you keep saying, oh, they such a liar, and they such a liar, da 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 da. Some people are not going to stop lying. Some people are comfortable, and they have convinced themselves. And I don't think to be honest with you, they may not even mean anything, because they just are not used to them. They used to being it. They are used to being who they are. It's just like a person that never take good care of their hygiene. They don't got so used to the smell, they don't smell themselves, but other people do. But you couldn't tell them anything, because they thinking that you're speaking against them, and you're really trying to help them. But it's not that. It's just that they have become accustomed. You got like a person that maybe never combed their hair, and you may mention to them, hey, comb your hair, and they're like, I don't do my hair, and they thinking that it's okay. Okay, I can understand if you got dreads. Dreads are beautiful things. So yeah, you don't touch that. But I'm just saying, the person that don't take interest in themselves, and somewhere down the line, something got them there. So with me, I love getting to the root, but at some point when you get to the root and there's no change, then at some point you have to make a decision for your benefit, for your health, and for your mental health. Stop getting mad at yourself because you asking yourself, what did I do wrong? You didn't do anything wrong. Okay, you just got to allow people space to be themselves, and no matter whatever that case may be, either you accept it or you don't. You either, go along and get along, or you don't. That's a choice that you have to make. So at some point you can't get mad because you may be around people, you may be around some family members, you may be around a person that y'all done been together for a very long time, and you want to change, and they still being who they choose to be. And at some point you have to make up in your mind that, okay, you choose that and I choose me for a change. I finally choosing myself over what the opinion of other people. That's not just in a relationship, that's in friendship, that's in family, that's in with your church family or whatever the case may be. You got to start making wiser decisions. You're getting it up in age, and even if not, even some of you young people, it's time to make wise decisions. It's time to choose things that are healthy for your mental as well as your physical. Because so many people are so busy working on that outer appearance, that inside, that's the work that needs to be done. Because when you start from the inside, then it'll work its way on the outside. It's because you can, no matter how much and whatever you're doing, I don't care, you can work out, you can be swole as they call it, you can be all that. But if your heart is not right, then you just I made a video talking about painting on a foundation that is cracked up. You have to stop painting over cracked up foundations. You got to stop painting over things that's just to cover it up, just to get what you want. And once you get there, and you have you ever moved into a place and they already had carpet there, and the carpet looked brand new until you maybe stayed there a year or two, and then you find out everything started coming up. That carpet started looking all spotted because what they did, they just cleaned it just enough for you to. They clean it just enough for you to move in and say, oh, it's nice. And then once you get in there, you got all this stuff up under that carpet. And you got to stop painting over and covering over things and go ahead and get the necessary healing that you need to where you can be not only effective to, not just effective to people, but to your own life. So you can stop lying to yourself, okay? Stop painting over cracked foundations, okay? We're going to talk about that a little later, about painting over things. Just tear it down and start over if you have to. Or don't even use that. Just get something new out. Just get something new. You have to be careful just going into a place, whether it's a house, whether it's a condo, or whatever it is. You go in there and, you know, I remember going into this condo, and man, it looked so nice. I mean, everything was, you know, and then after being there for a few years, the carpet started looking a certain way, and I'm a very, very, very clean person, very clean. And I looked at the carpet, I'm like, wait a minute, why is this? But it's because what they did, they shampooed the carpet, they steam cleaned the carpet just to make the carpet look good, okay? But then once you got in there, you found out that carpet was not clean up under the bottom. It was not clean. It was just a cover up. You got some places where you go in there, whether it's a building, whether it's a place of living, or whatever the case may be, and the paint looks so pretty. It's so, man, then after a while of being there for so long, you start seeing little cracks and stuff in the wall, or you start seeing where they may have painted over a nail, or they painted over something. They didn't take time to pull that nail out of the wall and do some painting bed. You know, I know a little bit something. My dad used to be a carpenter. Put a little painting bed on there and then paint and then do what you know, smooth it out. They didn't take their time to do that. They just hurry up and paint it over just to get you in. And that's how it is with a lot of relationships. They do just enough. You got women that they do just enough to reel you in. And once they reel you in, baby, they turn into something else. Same way with a man. They do just enough to reel you in. And once they reeled you in here, then they ain't worried about you no more, but they know they already got you, okay? They're not worried about you. And when you get to the point where you stop, even with some family members, you know, sometimes you say, you know what, I'm done. And then they'll do little things, you know, say little things, or, you know, they come visit you and you go visit them, and they in a good state of mind. Then all of a sudden you sit there a long period of time, but before you can even get home good, something done blew up. They done changed from, baby, I'm telling you what I know, not what I heard. So stop. Let's give you this advice. Stop painting over things. Stop camouflaging like a lizard on the wall, and just be your authentic self. You know, if you're a person to where you can't stop lying, you need to ask yourself why. Why can't I? What's wrong? What am I afraid of? What consequences am I afraid of if I stop lying? You first got to stop lying to yourself, and then you'll be able to be honest and then loyal to other people. Okay, I hope I helped you today. This is your girl, Rhonda the Light, as well as your messenger. Just shining some light. Just when you're free, who the song said free is free indeed. Now it's time for me to go free others. joy, and peace, that's who